Hello, everyone, and welcome to the candidate forum for the Office of External Vice President of Local Affairs, External Vice President for Statewide Affairs, and the Student Advocate General. I'd like to remind the audience that if you guys have questions you'd like to ask the candidates, there are paper and pencils in the back. Please write your questions on there and turn them in to me. This time, I'd like to introduce the candidates. Lindsay Kwok, who's running for External Vice President of Local Affairs with Students Party. Hi. Christine Bayon, running for External Vice President for Statewide Affairs with Students Party.
Hey guys.
And Mark Regis, running for the position of Student Advocate General. Each candidate will get a 2-minute opening statement, and I'd like to begin with Lindsay.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Kwok. I'm running for External Vice President of Local Affairs, and I'm running with Students Party. I am here because I am the most and the only person qualified for this position, as you can see. And basically, I work on issues regarding local affairs on campus and in Isla Vista, and even extending to countywide issues. I'm interested in making Isla Vista a community for both students and long-term residents, a sustainable community that recycles and is aware of its impact on the environment. I'm eager to work on safety issues on campus and in Isla Vista regarding just making queer people, making people of color, making women, men, everybody feeling safe, like that it's their community, and things like so. Those are my issues. Lindsay Kwok, Students Party.
Oh, go ahead, Christine.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine Bayon and I am running for External Vice President of Statewide Affairs. So it's kind of like a counterpart to Lindsay's position, but on a statewide and national level. Right now I'm currently the Statewide Affairs Organizing Director. So, I've been working I've been in that position for the past year, and I work directly with the External Vice President of Statewide Affairs, so I guess it's pretty fitting that I'm running for that particular position. Again, like I've been saying, I've been working in the Statewide Affairs office for this past year, and I've been keeping our elected officials accountable and our university officials accountable as well, such as the regents. What we've been doing is we've been advocating for students to register to vote. UCSB is the campus with the most registered voters in the whole country, so I think we should be very proud of that. And we're increasing our power, and that's how we are increasing our power and advocating for higher education issues that affect everyone, such as lowering tuition fees and making the UC a more affordable and accessible place for everyone. So that's Christine, Students Party.
Mark?
Hi everyone, my name's Mark Regis and I'm running for the Student Advocate General here at UCSB, and the Student Advocate General's first and foremost responsibility to the students is advocating for students' rights, and that's pinpointing violations of students' rights here on campus and any patterns of minor encroachments on students' rights that just don't seem to be just, and that could be whether from TAs or faculty members or even entities here on campus such as transportation and parking services that isn't really governed by UCSB's Judicial Affairs Office, and so there's not really a way to appeal, rather separate than the transportation and parking services methods of appeal. And also my role will be to head the Office of the Student Advocate, which currently has a staff of about 15 kids, and we look to expand that next year, probably at least with another 5 or 10 students. And as the Office of the Student Advocate's role is to pretty much assist students with any dispute with the university, and so that kind of falls into the same category as advocating for students' rights. And some of my goals for this year are to make sure that UCSB doesn't extend their jurisdiction out into Isla Vista, and also stop the practice of RAs using network mediums like MySpace or Facebook in order to incriminate students.
I'd like to start with Lindsay. Lindsay, what do you think is the most important issue affecting IV tenants at this time, and how would you address it if you were elected?
I think what's happening in Isla Vista right now is a process of gentrification. That is basically a lot of long-term residents who've been living here for a long time, who are often immigrants or low-income residents. They're slowly, gradually being kicked out of Isla Vista to make way for students, us wealthy university students, on the general level, wealthy university students coming in, and as more and more students are admitted into the university, basically we need housing, and so more and more people move into IV. And things like how Conquest Student Housing has recently evicted 50-plus families from the Cedarwood, formerly known as Cedarwood apartments on Picasso, and now they're called Coronado student luxury apartments or something like that. So long-term residents are being kicked out. They're low income. A lot of them, English isn't their first language, and just to accommodate for students. And I think that IV can be a place for both people. I don't think that there should be a division. We're not kicking anybody out. I think that there can be a balance, and that we can all live in harmony, or at least, be conscious and respectful of the space that we're moving into, or the space that we live in. So I think that the biggest thing that tenants in IV right now are dealing with is basically just this divide between long-term residents and short-term student residents who don't really have much communication with each other. And so I think we should just be more conscious of that. Thank you.
Lindsay. Oops. Sorry, I meant Christine. Christine, the UC Regents has just agreed to raise student fees for the 5th time since 2002. In your capacity as EVPSA, how will you work to stop the fee hikes?
I was actually at that Regents meeting in UCLA when they made that decision. And what I plan to do is I plan to continue mobilizing students and gathering students to go to actually attend these Regents meetings, and rallying and getting our voices heard. Because, there's a stigma against students that, we're apathetic, but that's actually not true. There was a high student turnout at that UCLA Regents meeting, and that actually affected influenced some of the regents to vote no against the fee increase. It definitely wasn't a unanimous vote. So just keep on pushing the regents, getting them to just making a presence and having our voices heard, and actually speaking to them one-on-one, because we definitely have that power, and they are supposed to be accountable to us. And what we're also doing is, we're actually reaching out to students and educating them about the regents, because a lot of people, there's a lot of complicated bureaucracies, in the UC in the whole, UC system-wide administration. So another way we were able to do that is to collect, compelling testimonials from students UC-wide, and they're all being emailed and shipped to the UC Regents as well, stating their issues and stating how tuition, is hindering these costs are hindering on the backs of students. So mainly I would want to rally to have our voices heard, and to send Regents actual literature as well. So, yeah.
Mark, what are the duties and responsibilities of the Student Advocate General, and what makes you qualified for this position?
Sure. I kind of answered that a little bit, but I'll reiterate that further than in my opening statement. And basically, as the Advocate General, the chief important role is to actually advocate for students' rights, and that's whether if it's necessary butting heads with administrators, pinpointing what's wrong, what's going on, what the students, what's angering the students out there, what's bothering them, and where they feel their rights have been violated. And where we have been seeing most, crying for help is the whole idea of extending jurisdiction, freshmen getting in trouble for pictures they put up on their Facebook, and RAs taking it upon themselves to search through, private information. I guess it is not exactly private because you are putting it on the internet, but you expect a certain bit of privacy between you and your friends, and you don't expect your RAs to go through your home pages and figure out if, try and find if you've been drinking in your dorm rooms and write you up for that. And we've had a lot of outrage from students on that. And also what makes me qualified is I'm the current chief of staff with the Office of the Student Advocate. I've been with the office since its actual founding. I've worked with administrators to bring the office from the ground up and create it to what it is today.
Christine, how familiar are you with the University of California Student Association, and what do you think works well in that organization, and what do you think can be improved?
Oh, okay. Good question, because the thing is, again, my position currently and for this past year has been as the Statewide Affairs Organizing Director. And what that job entails is to work on UCSA campaigns, increasing voter registration and voter turnout on campuses, and also doing as many actions and lobbying as possible against the fee increases in tuition and registration fees as well. I think what works well at UCSA is that they put a lot of power and decisions into the students in this whole UC system. I go to a lot of the the board meetings that are held at various UC campuses, and the power is really within the student representatives at each UC, and we do vote on our issues, and it's up to us to actually enact the actions that UCSA carries out. And UCSA also brings so many resources I think resources that are really essential, like information and statistics on how much tuition has been raised, the average cost of living at each UC as well. So I think UCSA is really beneficial to the whole UC system, and I don't really feel as if there is a weakness because I've been working with them for so long. I just maybe more of a coalition with the Cal States and the community colleges just to improve on that. So yeah, that's it.
Mark, a student has been accused of plagiarism. They come to you for help. After a meeting with said student, you suspect that they are guilty. How do you handle this situation?
As a member of the Office of the Student Advocate, we always teach our caseworkers that it's not our position to lie to these students or lie for these students. We like to give them basic information. Part of the most important job the OSA does, the Office of the Student Advocate does, is just give these students information of how they can help themselves, and if it's necessary, we'll help them write up a report and everything. But to be honest, it's not our position to judge them whether or not they are lying. We let the Judicial Affairs Office here on campus make that decision, and it's our job to help the student as best we can. And if they are lying and we do suspect them of lying, we I guess we kind of take a blind eye and just help them and point them in the right direction. And whether it's us formulating an opening statement for them to present to somebody like Joe Navarre in the Judicial Affairs Office, it's the student's prerogative to lie. It's not ours. Ours is there to, our position is just to help them.
This question is for Lindsay. In recent years, the erosions of Goleta Beach and surrounding beaches and sloughs have been a very controversial issue. When the topic is brought up, protesters usually sit on opposite sides of the fence. There are those who feel the beach must be protected at all costs, even at the expense of existing amenities. Those who believe in managed retreat, preserving existing buildings/structures, allowing for nature to take its course, and those in the middle advocating for a soft strategy. What side of the fence do you sit on and why?
Can you repeat the last two sentences or something?
Yes, I can. I'll repeat the entire question for you. I know it's pretty long. In recent years, the erosions of Goleta Beach and its surrounding beaches and sloughs have been a very controversial issue. When the topic is brought up, protesters usually sit on opposite sides of the fence. There are those who feel the beach must be protected at all costs, even at the expense of existing amenities. Those who believe in managed retreat, preserving existing structures, amenities, allowing for nature to take its course, and those in the middle advocating for a soft strategy. So to leave it alone and not worry about it at all. What side of the fence do you sit on and why?
I started getting involved in just work in general, getting involved in the community through environmental issues and environmental rights. And I think that we as human beings are members of nature and the earth, and I think that we need to be very conscientious of the effect that our buildings and the things that we do and use have on the shoreline, on land. And I think that if the things that we do compromise nature, the well-being of our shore and of the slough and of the beach and the cliffs, like, I think that we do need to take away, extract. Like, I think that we need to be more conscious of our footprint on the environment. So if that answers where I stand on the fence, I think, yeah, environment first. People are part of the environment, but we just, I think, let's see. Yeah, I think, yeah, our effect is oftentimes really negative, and we should know that. So. Yeah.
This question is for Mark, and it reads as follows. How do you communicate with administrators to get them to see your perspective?
Well, I think the most important part of communicating with administrators in order for them to see our perspective is having a good relationship with these administrators. Over the last couple years or two, I've actually gotten the opportunity to become quite close to some of the administrators here holding high positions, the upper echelons of UCSB's campus. And through those relationships, I am able to convey my point of view, whether it be I'm advocating for a student's position or advocating for students' rights in general. And you'd be surprised, a lot of these administrators they work with students every day, and their ability to see the perspective of students is pretty amazing. And me being able to convey my point of view and also understanding their point of view at the same time and reaching a happy medium is probably my best attribute in conveying our messages to the administration and having them understand where we are coming from.
This question is for Christine. What steps will you take to motivate more positive involvement from students within the community regarding statewide issues?
What I would want to do is just always reach out to, more reaching out to student organizations on campus, because really these student organizations represent, they represent certain parts of the community within this campus, and you know, always educating them about the issues, or you know, informing them, you know, in easy steps, because I know it's not easy to, you know, with all the numbers of tuition costs or financial aid and the bureaucracies within the state legislature and the national legislature as well. So I mean, definitely, you know, informing. Well, I guess not only student orgs, but also regular students as well. I mean, I actually love tabling, and I love making classroom announcements as well. So I'm definitely, and I've been scheduling them a lot lately. You know, because recently we've been having this postcard campaign where students actually wrote to their state legislatures about their qualms and problems and struggles with, you know, with being able to afford the UC costs. So, you know, with that, students, I feel that students are being informed, and, you know, we should be doing more of those reaching out efforts, actually going out to the students, you know, not just being within, you know, holed up within the AS office. So, yeah, I hope that answered the question.
This question is for Lindsay. What knowledge do you have of the work that Associated Students does in the local community, and what is your vision to improve on it?
Currently I serve, like Christine's counterpart, actually, as the Local Affairs Organizing Director. So I'm in the position directly in the office of the External Office of Local Affairs with HOL. So as I'm chair of the Ivy Community Relations Committee, and that committee funds projects in Ivy to improve the community, to address community issues, or just to, you know, have fun events or things like that. Things that AS is doing. Isla Vista Tenants Union, I'm a voting member of that AS organization, and currently we're doing a thing on security deposits. I know a lot of students, including myself, have a lot of issues in Isla Vista's tenants with getting their security deposits back, or getting what they need from their landlords, like, you know, getting a repair, or, you know, rent and things like that. And so with Isla Vista Tenants Union, and that includes also the boycott on Conquest student housing against this gentrification movement that I mentioned before. So AS efforts to basically protect tenants or just let students at UCSB know that as tenants they have rights, and that they can fight their landlords for the things that they need and want, and that they have rights to, that they deserve. Other local affairs, things like the Isla Vista Trash Management Committee, the newly formed Blue Ivy, or Ivy Blue, I'm sorry, Ivy Blue campaign, which basically is going to encourage, there's a blue bin rollout that's going to encourage recycling in Isla Vista, and I'm part of that committee right now. And we're also working on a red cups recycling campaign, because, you know, those red beer cups that you can recycle those. We also work on workers' rights, on-campus workers getting pay equity, things like that. And then safety in Ivy, making people feel that they're all safe on campus in Ivy.
This question is for Mark. What strengths do you possess as a leader, and how will that help you in your position if elected?
Well, most of these will probably sound cliche, because it's the average answer anybody will answer. But to me, I truly feel I'm a good motivator. To have success inside of an office and running a staff of 15 people, you have to motivate these students to feel that they're part of something, to feel that they're making a difference. And if you can't do that, you can't have kids that are going to follow you or be interested in being part of something and wanting to help other students. And I feel what's been important to my success as the chief of staff is my ability to keep on these people, make them feel like they're part of something, emailing them constantly, not being afraid to bug them, and lead them into the next level of where they are as a person. A lot of these people come in, and this is the first time they've gotten involved here on campus, and I listen to their needs, and I guide them as best I can, and I try and act as a mentor, and other people on campus here that will be coming to me with their problems and their needs, it's being receptive to their needs and advocating for whatever they, even if I don't agree with it, you know, it's understanding that I'm here to serve the students, and that's what I will do, and my ability to maintain on focus and influence kids as best I can and lead by example is what the attributes that will help me to succeed as the Advocate General.
Christine, same question. What strengths do you possess as a leader, and how will that help you in your position if elected?
I think one of my main strengths is that I'm very, very hardworking. Because, you know, how can you expect your followers to, or not followers, but people working with you, if you're the leader, to work with you if you're not able to, if you're not willing to put the hard work in yourself? So, you know, I'm always there to, you know, work hard and show them that, you know, this is possible, and you know, don't ever say that a goal isn't possible, because you know, with hard work we can get it done. And I think I'm also very approachable, and I'm willing to listen to all sides of life, I guess you could say, and all viewpoints as well, and you know, seeing if we could, you know, try to please everyone, but you know, I can also be direct as well, and I'm not afraid to put my foot down as well when needed, because you have to show that you are strong, and so yeah, those are some like 3 qualities that I feel that I have, that I think any leader should have as well.
Lindsay, what strengths do you possess as a leader, and how will this help you in your position if elected?
I think a strength that I have as leader is being conscious constantly about the balance that we as student leaders, or students who are involved in a lot of different things, need to have in order to be healthy people. I mean, we're tenants, we're workers, we're students, we're friends, we're family members, you know, we're sisters, and some of us are, you know, mothers or fathers or daughters and sons. I think that we, as student leaders, or as people who are involved, we are people, and we have to maintain all different aspects of our lives. So I think that as a student leader, leading other people, I try to be conscious of, or just care about the person as a whole, the people that I'm leading as a whole, to see how they're doing on all levels, because if they can't maintain other aspects of their lives, then how can they do these external things, do these other things that help other people and themselves? I think that I am a person to get things done. I really like concrete goals, and I like timelines, and I like making sure that things happen, making sure that we follow through with things. So I am reliable, I'm responsible, and I try my very best to follow up on things that I really do think, if I have a goal and if we have a set thing that we want to attain, then we'll get that done. And so yeah, I think those are my strengths.
Lindsay, what do you consider to be your single greatest accomplishment at UCSB this year?
UCSB this year. I think my single great accomplishment, it's kind of broad, but it's been getting involved in local affairs. And I think that is what makes me qualified for next year's position, should I be elected. I am now a tenant of Isla Vista, so I know what it's like to have to pay rent, to have to talk to my landlord, try to get things that I want or need. I see people getting evicted, and you know, I've gotten involved in this boycott against companies that don't care about its people, like the people who it does business with. I've become chair of IVCRC, the Community Relations Committee, member of IVTU, worked on environmental issues in Isla Vista. I've I know I've worked with administration before, and they know me, I know them on this campus. And I think I've basically built up my knowledge and experience to be able to really do good work next year. And I'm already in it. And so it's just a continuation of the same work that I'm doing, and maybe on a higher level with even more resources and with my own office. So my greatest accomplishment this year, to once again recap, is just learning all of the things that the local affairs office does in AS and becoming a qualified person for this position. So, yeah.
Mark, what do you consider to be your single greatest accomplishment at UCSB this year?
My single greatest accomplishment this year would probably be my role on the Rules and Regulations Committee, which I sit on with some of the administrators here on campus. And what we do there is we go over all the current UCSB's rules and regulations, make changes to them, and what we've done there actually is me, and with the help of Chris Carlin and the acceptance of the committee, have provided a requirement in the rules and regulations that states that the Judicial Affairs Office must now send out a letter informing students of different student resources here on campus, such as the Office of the Student Advocate, the JPAs, and the Office of the Ombuds. So now when a student does get in trouble, they will be informed of different places they can go on campus and seek help and get help. And it also, kind of a little bit for myself, it will also help the Office of the Student Advocate to just grow that much more and increase the influx of cases tenfold by next year.
Christine, what do you feel is what do you consider to be your single greatest accomplishment at UCSB this year?
I would say that, how much stronger the External Vice President of Statewide Affairs office has grown, and how many people have been joining the office and helping in our efforts. What I've been doing is that I've been, bridging more of a relationship with the AS student lobby, and just, because the thing is, I know I'm going to be holding this position, and I'm going to be the main person accountable for the statewide and national affairs, but it's very hard to do it on your own. And what's the point if you can't even outreach to other people? If you're supposed to be educating other students on this campus, what's the point if it's just you by yourself? So I see that, me bridging a relationship with, with recruitment, for the statewide affairs office has been my single greatest accomplishment, and I'm very proud of it. And it has made me stronger, and it's made me stronger, and I've just learned so many skills from it as well. And I know that we'll grow even more next year, and we'll grow and increase our power, and and holding our elected officials accountable, and the university administration as well. So, yeah.
This will be the last question. And this is for Mark. If you were able to be reincarnated as a car, would you be a convertible or a hardtop, and why?
God, I'd probably be a convertible because I like to open up to everyone and invite everybody into the party.
I'm sorry, I was anticipating that. Christine, if you could paint the world one color, what color would you paint it and why?
I'd probably paint it silver, so it could be more luminescent. It's a very, very pretty color. So that's my answer.
And Lindsay, if you were a piece of furniture, what piece would you be and why?
Does a pillow count as furniture?
if you wanted to.
I like pillows a lot. Especially like the down ones with feathers. And why? They provide a lot of support and comfort, and they're soft. I'm soft. Like, I'm nice, you know? And I don't know, you get a lot of rest, and they just feel good. So yeah, I like pillows. I'd be a pillow.
Cool. Now I'd like to give each candidate 2 minutes for their closing statement, and we will begin with Christine.
Oh. Once again, my name's Christine Bayon. I'm the Statewide Affairs Organizing Director in the external, the EVPSA office. Let's not say that long acronym. And I'm running with the Students Party. And again, I have been working in this office for the past year. So, you know, it really is, it's kind of fitting for me to run with this position. I know I'm running unopposed, but really I do intend on still, you know, proving that I am qualified for this job by reaching out to students and first informing them by breaking down these higher education issues to make it easier for students and more accessible for students to understand, and therefore increasing their power, and so that they can do something about the recurring problem of, you know, unaffordability and unaccessibility to the campus, because tuition and living cost fees, especially living in the expensive ritzy Santa Barbara, it's a recurring problem for all students. So yeah, I definitely want to, that's my plan for this year, and I hope everyone likes it.
Mark?
Again, I'm Mark Regas, and I'd just like to take the time to tell everybody that I'm really excited to be holding this position next year, and I look forward to working with all the administrators on campus and working with all my fellow students. And I really want to focus on the average student who maybe doesn't have the support system that a lot of people do that are involved in AS, and you know, they don't know who to go to for help, and I'd like to be that person they can come to. And this is just really important to me. It's kind of the culmination of a couple years of really hard work to get this office off of the floor and see where it is today.
And Lindsay?
I'm Lindsay Kwok. I'm running for External Vice President of Local Affairs with Students Party. And like Christine, though I'm running unopposed, I really am really qualified for this position. I'm a huge believer in local community, and I think that it's just very important to have a strong one. Some concrete things that I want to do next year are fight towards a just cause evictions ordinance in the county, or even maybe just an Isla Vista one, to make it so that there aren't mass evictions like the one that happened this past summer in Isla Vista, to make way for luxury student housing. Another thing I wanted to do is expand the EVPLA office, because we need to have more liaisons in the office that touch on all different aspects of Isla Vista, from environmental issues to tenants' rights to workers' rights to working with the administration on diversity even, or its admissions policies and things like that. We have a lot more money even in the local affairs with CRC and in our office, and I think that students need to know that they can do programming and things and work towards projects that improve the local community. I've run campaigns in the past. Last year, I successfully ran an anti-sweatshop policy campaign for the UC-wide system. So I've worked with other UC students before. I've worked with the chancellor before. I've worked with the administration, and I even sit on the system-wide committee that is implementing that policy right now. So I'm familiar with how to run a campaign, and so yeah, I'm qualified for this position. Once again, Lindsay Kwok, Students Party. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming. This concludes our candidate forum. We will resume with forums tomorrow in this room for the Office of the Off-Campus Representatives From 11 to noon, we will be A through Z, and from 12 to 1, it will be off-campus reps with last names M through Z. Also, please remember there's still an hour or so left in the academic fair. Go, it's over in Coram Pavilion. You can get some nice candy and information about academic advising and things like that. Thank you, and good night.